Friday night. I've got some drinks on the go. And I'm feeling nostalgic. What else is a man to do? If not, boot up the PS1 and play some Spyro the Dragon. What else is you're supposed to do, you know? I can't think of anything better to do. So here we go. This is technically the first thing I ever tried, like, capturing, recording, when I decided I was going to start doing this with my life. Well, not with my life, you know. But I haven't streamed it before, because I've barely streamed anything before, but whatever, here we go. I was like, what can I play while, like, half paying attention and just having a nice time? I'm caught between games right now. I'm like 3/4 of the way through Yakuza 5. And I can't be bothered to play the rest of it right now. I didn't want to play F1 tonight, which is what I have been doing this week. Overwrite this, because that was the file that I did my test recording on back in, well, I say back in, it was only a couple months ago. This is Spyro the Dragon. I love this game. I love the series.
Okay, rolling.
The story is very important.
Peaceful here in the five
We have to watch this.
Or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000? What about this
Foreshadowing.
character? Now I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Simple.
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom.
No threat.
Besides, he is ugly.
That does it. So yeah, this game, this whole series, is because that old dragon couldn't shut his mouth. He just had to insult Nasty Nork. And Spyro, I guess, is the only dragon who's small enough to escape the beam. I'm pretty sure that's what the manual said the story was. Which is kind of weird.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
You think you can skip this guy, but he's just explaining how the game works.
Find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
So yeah, Spyro's voice in this game is sort of great. They would change it later, or in the next game. So it was Tom Kenny. And no respect to
Where's Nasty Nork?
Carlos Alazraqui, I think is his
Keep your
name,
horns on,
who did it in this game.
Spyro. You have much to learn from. Do you know what the dragonfly following
You know,
you is
no
doing?
disrespect, but I don't
His
think
name
I
is
don't like his
Mark,
voice in this game.
And he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
So yeah, I'm talking over the explanations here of how this game works, but yeah, Sparks, dragonfly behind me, who not only picks up the gems for me when I run past them, he's also Spyro's health. So at the moment he's yellow, which means I have full health. None of these enemies in this world can actually attack you, so you're basically fine. But when you enter the real levels and they start attacking you, you have to start paying attention to Sparks' colour. He turns blue, and then green, and he disappears completely, and if you get hit while you have no Sparks, you die. But you kind of want Sparks to be at full health, or, you know, at least you want him to be there, because if he's not there, if you have no health left, then you have to walk into every gem individually to pick them up, and that's really annoying. Actually, I'm going to free this dragon while I'm here. This dragon is slightly unique.
Oh, Flash, do that again.
I don't know if I'll bother showing it,
through a portal in the
but
dragon mouth,
as he's
which
explaining
you are not
here.
yet ready, Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
If you talk to him before you go to any other level, he says that. But if I were to go into one of the levels, which we access through these portals here, you can access any level whenever you want. If I enter one and then come back out, that dragon head will open, and I'll have access to the boss. And I believe he is the only dragon in the game who has 2 different voice lines. Because if you go and talk to him again, he tells you that you can go in. It's a very minor point, but you know, sometimes you just remember things from when you play this game when you're like 7
Spyro,
or whatever.
press the jump button twice to glide, and don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Oh, excuse me.
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers.
Oh, that.
So I guess this is technically my first stream of 2024 as well. I don't know. I mean, it is. There's no way I don't know about it, but yeah. I've started this year by like being ill for like the first time in like literally years. I want to do more streams. I didn't make any sort of concrete commitments to anything, but I liked the idea of doing sort of weekly streams, just because I find doing these quite fun, even though statistically nobody's watching. Just because it gives me an excuse either to play some like older games that I've not played for a long time, or some games that I've never played sometimes. But yeah, I've just not been like feeling it at all until like right now, and that's fine as well, as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, I'm in this because I find it fun, and there's no point in me doing it if I wasn't going to find it fun. So we'll wait until I do, and I do right now. So yeah. I don't know how far I'm going to get in this game tonight. On my test recording, I know I played and completely 100%ed the first 2 worlds, which I imagine I'm likely to do that again today. We'll see how much further I go. Is that 100%? Yes, it is. Despite, as you can see, Spyro is a total like archetypal collectathon. You run around these open levels and just collect stuff until you've collected everything. And there's something that I like about this game in comparison to all the others, is that you can just plow through the entire thing. Like, you don't have to backtrack at any point. You can complete every single level on your first visit. It's just this sort of game that, I mean, you barely have to think about anything, because you don't have to worry about, like, you know, do I have an ability, or have I not got not unlocked the character that I need to 100% a level. You just play through until you do all of it.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Indeed, not that I ever run into trouble. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna I'm going to complete all these levels, basically, because even though you might have seen at the start when I had my save files, I didn't actually have any that are 100% complete. I'm sure I have 100% of this before. I think I probably just, like, deleted the save file where I did to start it again at some point, and then just never actually bothered finishing it again. I've certainly finished this on the Reignited trilogy, because I have all the achievements on that.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex.
I think this guy's technically the one from the intro, but he's changed his voice.
But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
Who knew that getting encased in the crystal like that would change your accent? Maybe I could do some of that. I don't know. What was I saying? Yeah, I finished this on Reignited. And I quite like the Reignited trilogy in general. But yeah, I not only weirdly, it's actually easier for me to stream old consoles at the moment. I mean, I say that it would be completely fine for me to plug my Xbox Series X into my capture card, but I'm using this like old Elgato thing so that I could play off like my PS1 and PS2 and stuff. So
Sure.
I think that would be locked at 30 FPS if I did that, and whatever. I had the PS1 already set up to stream, so I'm streaming the original version. That's why we've got the key, just to open that. I don't know, relatively recently I've been playing the Crash Insane trilogy. Because of course, because I played Spyro when I was little, obviously I played Crash as well. And I kind of, when the Insane trilogy first came out, I liked it, because it was like, oh my god, Crash is back, that's really exciting. Like, he's been like, we've not seen him for, a decade or whatever. But now that sort of there are new Crash games coming out again. Not that I've played Crash Team Rumble, and not that I ever will, because it doesn't interest me at all, but like, I don't think the Insane trilogy is very good for Crash Bandicoot. I think the originals are a better way to play those games, but I think the Reignited is a fine way to play these games.
Oh, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
Yeah, so what this dragon's saying here is basically like the most obvious like gameplay difference from this game and then Spyro 2 and 3 is if you press triangle, you just drop like that. You don't hover to get like more height, which is what they introduced in Spyro 2. It's fine. This game was not designed for you to be able to get more height like that on your glides, so everything's designed knowing that you can't do that, and that's fine. Now here's perhaps the most infamous character, I suppose, from these games. The Egg Thieves. This is why I think it's slightly strange, where like as far as I remember at least, because I've long since lost the my manual for this game. But I'm pretty sure the story in the manual said that Spyro was the only dragon small enough to escape the crystal beam that Nasty Nork fired at the start of the game. I saw a thing down there. We go. I'm just going to get that. But there are dragon eggs. So like, what is? I'm going to regret asking this. What is the dragon like? Is there a mating season? That means there's like eggs that are ready to hatch now, but Spyro's like the youngest. Did all the rest of the eggs from like Spyro generation I don't know, die? Like, maybe I'm just wrong and it never actually said that, but there must be a reason that. Is there? I'm like that. I'm like a Batman subreddit right now. So, is there a lore reason that Spyro has to be the one to save the day? Oh no! That always happens on this stage. There's always one. There's a single gem that I'm missing. Oh, literally, it always happens like this. So yeah. So this is the objective basically. Is there's in every level a certain number of gems to collect and a certain number of dragons to free. And would you say most levels or some levels have eggs to get? Most for the first half of the game, because there's no eggs after the third kind of main world. And this always happens. Eventually, you end up with... So I'm currently on 199 out of 200 treasure collected for this stage. And I have absolutely no idea where the single gem I've missed is. And there's... In this version, okay, having said... Well, no, I said that the Reignited was good, so I'm okay, actually, for this. The Reignited trilogy lets you just, like... You can click in the stick or something, and sparks will point to any treasure you haven't found yet. So if we had that in this game, I could just easily find out which single gem somewhere I missed. There it is. Oh my god, okay. Normally I would just go to the portal, but exiting level does exactly the same thing. So yeah, the colour of the gem determines how much it's worth. Red is 1, green is 2, blue is 5, yellow is 10, pink/purple is 25. Every stage has anywhere from 100 to 500 treasure in this game. And anywhere from, I want to say 3 to 5 dragons. The bosses have 1 except for one of the boss levels, which has 2. Can't remember if any of the normal levels have 2 dragons right now. If you'll excuse me, I need to get tissue real quick, because I'm still a little bit ill and my nose is running a bit. I'm sure everyone wanted to know that. Give me a sec. Alright, sorry about that. Hopefully I was far enough away when I did that you couldn't hear it. So welcome to Dark Hollow. This is one of the more atmospheric levels, to be honest. It's just nice, and the music's nice. There's not sort of much going on here. As you'll see, it's actually a lot of these levels, if you just were to enter the level and just run straight to the exit, would be really, really short. Excuse me.
Oh, it's you. I wasn't sure if you.
So it's kind of the point to explore around a bit.
Metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
Yeah, so he's explaining here. You might have seen. Actually, I probably should have talked about how this game works a little bit more, rather than talking about like Crash Bandicoot and like my running nose or whatever. But essentially, Spyro has 2 main attacks here. Either a charge, or he's a dragon, so of course he can breathe fire. On sort of smaller enemies, you can do either, and it's fine. But on enemies like those that have little shields, you have to charge them because the metal will absorb the flame. And on these big guys, they're too big to charge, so you have to flame them, but they are wearing massive shields on the front, so you can't charge or flame them right now until they turn around. So you can flame them from the back. It's it'd be hard pressed to call it a puzzle, but it's a slightly more interesting combat. That's maybe a little bit strong to put it.
Your secret's safe with me.
So he's explaining that you can do this with the triangle button to sort of get a better look at your surroundings. But to be honest, I've never really known whether they expect you to do that to get a look around, or I don't know if it's just because I know these levels well enough, but like you can use the L2 or R2 buttons to just kind of move the camera around normally. What you would probably now expect to be on the right stick, but the right stick in this game does absolutely nothing. Well, I mean, this game has really good analog controls for a PS1 game. To be honest, so this game came out in 1998. As far as I'm aware, it always had DualShock support. I think the DualShock was out everywhere by then. But if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, that was a little bit before my time, so I don't know the timeline and all of that. The Spyro controls really nicely, but like with a lot of PS1 games, the right stick is kind of a weird, it's there, but almost no games use it, you know. So, but the camera controls to me are completely fine for what you ever kind of need. And there's like, so what, you know, to a good way, when you charge, the camera centers behind you. So basically, if you ever need the camera to center, you may as well just charge, because there's it almost gets to a point that there's no reason not to just charge, like, all the time. Especially in the later games, to be honest. Because one thing I always thought was slightly strange about this game is Spyro barely jumps. If you're charging and you jump, like, you can't kind of go anywhere with that. Like, can you even make it? You can make it up a single step. But in Spyro 2 and 3, if you did a charge jump, you might be able to get up like 2 of these steps at a time. That's kind of the one thing that I think. Well, so I mean, as far as changes go, it's the hover and it's the charge jump. Really, is what they changed. The hover is, you know, it's whatever, because they design the levels differently. But I do wish the charge jump was a high jump in this game as well, like it is in the
Big
sequels.
enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
I can't remember who it is. There's some YouTuber somewhere that points out, why does that dragon tell you about that when you've already killed the thing he's talking about to get to it? Anyway, so that's what getting in the jumping in the portal looks like. It's exactly the same as pausing and clicking exit level, which I normally prefer to do. I did it on the first level, but that's how I normally like to do it. So anyway, so one other thing I like about this game that I appreciate is a bit strange to like, because not everybody would. It's so like structured. Every kind of homeworld, except for the very final one, is structured in the exact same way, where there are 3 standard levels, a boss level, and a flight level. So this is we've done 2 of the normal levels. This is the 3rd one, Town Square, which I think was this the level that they had in the demos? There's like the demo for this game hidden in Crash Bandicoot 3, which I never bothered to actually do, because I never bothered to do the code or play it, because I always had this game anyway. I was like, why would I play the demo? But maybe I should do that at some point, because
Welcome to
some of those demos are pretty interesting.
Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the L2 and R2 buttons to get a good look.
Yeah, I already told you. I already said about that. I always like this level. I don't know exactly. I don't know what. Like, where's the rest of the town? Where's the town square on like a random floating island somewhere? But it's interesting. I like that they. What I always like about this is that they made like a sort of level focused around kind of gliding challenges into quite a sort of enclosed kind of urban style space, which has sort of like kind of Mediterranean vibes, I guess. I mean, there are like bullfighters we're about to come across, so.
Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Oh, did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
No, I didn't know that. There was absolutely no way I could have figured out that jumping really high in a platform game would be useful. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, if you charge the bulls, they get stuck. I never remember if, because there are some stages which have very similar enemies, and if you charge them, then you get hurt. I think I never bothered to like charge those guys normally, just because I never remember whether it's because you get the gem, so they're essentially dead, but they're not dead because they're just their horns are stuck in the ground. Anyway, ooh, Jesus. So I remember when I was little, I used to play this game quite a lot. Although actually, I mean, Spyro 3 was the one I had first, and I got this one after. But I never knew how to get up there. And I don't think this dragon actually tells you how to get up there in any sort of way. I could be wrong, I will find out.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run! Run! I'm getting a little winded.
Okay, that's that guy. So yeah, he just tells you that there's an egg thief around here. But he doesn't tell you where he is. And you can see him. He's over there. I never saw him when I was little. I didn't know what this bit was for either. But you just do that. When I was like 8 and playing this, I didn't have the sort of sense of what am I saying, like spatial awareness to figure out that not only could I get over here, but that was what that little platform was for. I was just like, oh, there must be some way to like high jump or something I just don't know about. To be honest, maybe that was because I didn't play this game first. I can't remember if I played Spyro 2 before this as well, but Spyro 3 was definitely the one I had first. And in that game, there are levels that you can't finish on your first time you go there. So I don't. Maybe I just kind of looked at this whole section up here and was like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll unlock a way to get over there later." I don't know.
Thank you for releasing me.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay, so the joke is, so many of these dragons, especially later in the game, that's all they say to you is "Thank you for releasing me." And I always forget. So it's always the ones that you get to like last, right? It's always the ones that are like hardest to find in each stage are the ones that just say the least. And I forgot that it starts like as soon as the first world, essentially. So we've now done the 3 standard levels in this world, the Artisan's World. Oh, by the way, when you come back to a previous level and kill the enemies, there's little orb things that you get. If you get however many it is it like 20 or something, you get an extra life. Anyway, now this opens and we have access to the boss, Toasty. And the bosses in this game. So I didn't mention this actually, but I could already go to the next world if I wanted to. You don't have to fight the bosses. There's a guy who mans a balloon in every homeworld, who kind of issues you a certain kind of collection threshold before he'll take you to the next world. And to get from this world to the second world, what he asks you is to collect or to rescue 10 dragons. And already we've rescued 15, so I could go and talk to him right now and go to the second world, and I don't need to do any of this. The only world that's different in structure and in sort of requirements is the very final one, where you have to play each level in a row, because only one, just like with the entrance to this boss level, the portals open one at a time, and you have to play each level in order. So technically, the only boss that you have to fight to finish this game is the final boss. You don't have to fight this boss or any of the other ones. There are 4 more after this? Yeah, 4 more after this. You don't have to fight any of them. As long as you get the collection requirements, you can just go to each world in turn. So you only actually have to do these if you want 100%. But, you want 100%. Not only because it's really achievable, but because there's an actual kind of bonus for doing it. And each boss world has a small amount of treasure, and most of them have 1 dragon to free.
Bring them on. I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
We will see very quickly that he actually does not have tricks up his sleeve. He just lies. This man's a liar. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, these dogs are actually more threatening than the boss himself. They jump on you. You flame them once and they jump. if you click on the draw, you can get them before they'll hurt you. Anyway, here's the real boss. All along, he was a sheep on stilts. That was a trick he had up his sleeve all along. I don't know. Can he even hurt you? Does he attack you with his like scythe or whatever if you let him? I've never actually known. Did I get everything? Yeah. Let's go. As you can see now that I've taken damage for the first time in this run, sparks turn blue, which means I didn't even explain this. The sheep in this level, there are different animals in all the stages. If you attack them, they turn into butterflies, and if Sparks needs health, he'll eat the butterflies and go up a stage. So I attacked those sheep as soon as I came out the portal to get butterfly. Sparks ate it and turned from blue to yellow. And we're back at full health again. Some people prefer... Later in the game, it'll tell you how to do this. Some people prefer just to organically wait. But for me, I like not having to backtrack at any point. All you have to do is jump on these tiles in literally any order. It doesn't matter. And it opens the portal to Sunny Flight. This is the only secret like this in the entire game. None of the other levels in the game are hidden behind anything, and it kind of makes me wonder why they kind of bothered hiding it. If they're just going to tell you about it later, and it's the only level like this in the entire game. Anyway, the point is, as you can see, Spyro now has free flight rather than just being able to purely glide. And the objective here is to destroy all the obstacles within the time limit. Every obstacle you destroy gives you some time back. So it's kind of a pathfinding mission. And despite how it sort of might look so far, this is possibly the only one that I don't actually have like a route for. Because all the other ones, like, it's not the fastest way, but basically it spawns you like in front of something that's just like, it basically signposts you to sort of being like, this is the one you should go for first. But in this one, like, I think it might be quicker if you go for the arches that I'm going through right now first. I'm not completely sure about that, but I always go for the barrels first because they're the first thing you see when you start a level. And then you get the chests and the archers, and then the planes are the most annoying part because they're not in like a line. It makes most sense to fly kind of opposite them. But if I'm going to fail this for any reason, it'll be on these, probably. As you see, I sort of didn't finish my route of the archers, but we are good. I don't always finish this level on the first go, to be honest. So here's how it sort of breaks down when you finish these. Is you get 60 gems for every group of 8 that you complete, and then you get another 60 gems if you got every single obstacle in a single run for a total of 300 gems. No, I don't want to try again. And that gets you 300 gems to the level. There's no dragons here. And that puts you on quite a pleasant 1,000 treasure for the entire Artisan's World. And that'll do it for here, anyway. So now we can finally go to where I sort of gave a little glimpse of when I was first coming around here. The balloonist down here. Marco, yeah, had a feeling his name's Marco. Wow, I see you've been busy rescuing dragons, Spyro. You might travel to the Peacekeeper's World if you like. And we use them as a platform, and go to the Peacekeeper's World. As far as I'm aware, there was kind of a point during the production of this game where it was going to be, you travel to each world on a boat. There was like a guy who looked like a Viking who would take you to at least this world. and maybe it would be different vehicles for each world transition. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, here we are in Peacekeepers,
Welcome to Peacekeepers.
and the dragons look markedly
Our
different.
treasure has been turned against us and stolen. Recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
So that's kind of letting you know what the kind of gimmick here is. Essentially, the balloonist here won't let you leave until you collect enough treasure. I forget exactly what the collection threshold is. I might go and, because he's sort of halfway around my route through this stage, so I might go and talk to him and just out of curiosity see whether I've got enough that he would let me go right now if I wanted to. I'm obviously going to play all these levels anyway. I'm going to complete this stage first. But yeah, as I mentioned, the dragons in this world look completely different from the last world, and that's something else that I feel like is sort of, forgotten is kind of not really the word, because lots of people are aware of it and it gets mentioned a fair amount, but something that's certainly neat about this game is they went to the trouble of kind of making sure that the dragons in each of the worlds look different. Ah, yeah, this guy's going to moon you! Because the idea is, like, the dragons are in charge of, these kind of 5/6 worlds that we go through in this game, and they'll look different in each part of the world. Magic Carp as well is far away and very dangerous. Maybe if you find 1,200 stolen treasures. Yeah, okay, so we need 1,200 to move on. So that's kind of your. In general, I think they're pretty good at making sure that you can't literally just like turn up in each world and then move on straight away.
Sparks the Dragonfly has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterflies.
Will do, mate. Cheers. I think it's possible that the only one that you can literally, if you've been collecting 100% of everything, I think when you get to Dream Weavers, I think it'll just let you go straight to Nasty's World. I'm pretty sure that's the only one that you could conceivably not play a single level from and still kind of make it to the end of the game. But, where's the fun in that? Because almost all of these levels are really, really neat. So here's the cannons. I could have showed this earlier, but this is the first time that it actually is important. Is if the Norks aren't manning the cannons, you can flame them to launch cannons at these chests that you can't otherwise break, or do the thing that you're supposed to do with these that I forgot to do. The camera tries to be helpful with these, but sometimes I kind of don't want it to. There you go. That'll do it. I should do it. Maybe not. Where did it? What? What happened to that? What happened to the cannonball? Where did it go? There we go. Dr. Shemp, that's the boss of this world. We'll get to him in a little bit. You see what I mean? So up here is Night Flight, which, if you didn't know about the Sunny Flight thing, you might think this is the first one in the game, but it's not hidden unless you count sort of blowing up that thing as being hidden. But if you didn't know that you could get over here, look at how much you'd miss. You'd miss the egg over here. You'd miss the dragon. You'd miss this key. I mean, to be honest, you'd miss the locked chest as well, because that's a little bit further on. But whatever.
Well done, Spyro! Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
Destiny? I just want to kick some...
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure!
You can't imagine that he was going to say, like, ass or whatever, but they had to cut him off. You can't let him say butt. Not when he's not voiced by SpongeBob yet. So you might pick up that key and been like, where do I unlock the chest? It's over here. I remember that jump being really difficult when I was little and playing this. Anyway, you see these chests. I kind of skimmed over these when we saw them for the first time in Town Square, but The point of those is obviously you attack them, and the gem kind of jumps out. Spyro can't swim in this game. You have to. If you land in water, you can jump back out, but you just got to be aware of that. Anyway, yeah, with those chests, you attack it, and the gem pops out, and you have to jump to collect the gem. Some people think that kind of breaks up the pace. I think I've seen that kind of mentioned a few times. Same with these ones, actually. Hang on, there's a thing you can do with this one. Because when you attack it 3 times, the propeller comes off the top, and there's an enemy up there. You might have just seen him. Come on. Yeah, got him. So later on, we're just going to see a gem sitting on the ground, and it'll be from that enemy that I killed before we even saw him. I always try and do that. Anyway, there's an egg thief here. There he is. Come on. There we go. Anyway, I don't think I mentioned. I'm playing this off my actual PS1. Off my original disc that I've had since I was like 7. Last time I tried it, which was for my test recording when I first got my capture card, in like, I don't know, whenever I got it, can't remember. It worked flawlessly, at the very least, for these 2 worlds. So as far as I know, we should be fine to continue playing on it. My last stream that I did was Sonic Heroes on the PS2, which is also a very well-loved disc. Apparently a little bit too well-loved, because I had a ton of technical problems playing that off original hardware, which I wasn't expecting. But I think this one should be fine. It's been absolutely fine so far. Everything's all the kind of audio and voice lines have played without complaint. So hopefully we're all good. So it kind of leads on to what I was going to say, which is like, I love these games, all 3 of these games, so much that the actual condition I have of these original discs is completely destroyed.
Spyro. I was born to glide.
Anyway, so that's an important kind of foreshadowing for how this level works. You're supposed to kind of glide over here, and it's like there's another bit around the corner here, which I forget. I might have to come back and do this. I think there might be a locked chest around here that I've not got the key for yet, but you can do this. Oh, the key's over here. Okay, I always forget which way around it is.
Incredible glide, Spyro. I thought
it was.
Stuck here forever with
anyway, my case for this game is it's not really a case anymore. I don't have to front to it. There's the people from Europe or Australia, I suppose, if there's anybody like that who might be watching this. You'll know that PS1 discs cases from this region are the most fragile things in the world. They're made of like pure glass on the front. And the hinges are incredibly fragile. So, naturally, if you play a game quite a lot, and you're like 7 or whatever, you're going to end up breaking it. And yeah, I broke mine really badly. It doesn't have a front anymore, it's just a spindle, open spindle to the world. That's my Spyro 1 case. My Spyro 3 case doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know where that ever kind of got to. I don't have a case for Spyro 3 anymore, and Spyro 2, I do know what happened to it, but I don't have it anymore because when I was like 9, I lent it to a friend who then promptly moved house and stopped talking to me. So I don't have my copy of Spyro 2 anymore. And my Spyro 3 and Spyro 1 currently live in the same case on my shelf. Which is not great for the condition of either disc, but Spyro 3 is the one that's a little bit more screwed up, which is a little bit sad because that's the one that I had first, so it's kind of the one I'm kind of most nostalgic for. And last time I tried playing that, the audio in particular is a little bit gone on that disc, but this one's fine.
Is that
So-
you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about?
I'd like to.
Ever since you're a wee buffalo,
I'm not going to finish this game in this
we've
one
known,
stream, obviously,
You've
but
known.
I forget.
I'd like to finish this at some point on stream, and then if I ever play the second two games, maybe I'll either switch to Reignited or just emulate. I obviously don't have a problem with emulation, but I like the fact that I get to play my original old discs off my actual PS1 when I do these sorts of streams. It's just not terribly frequently, but as I said earlier, I'd like to get into doing this more now that I'm no longer ill. So I don't really have a route through this level. I've just kind of been... Like, I know where each part kind of is. I doubt I've done it as efficiently as I possibly could. This jump, this glide in particular, has always slightly terrified me, because until you make it, it doesn't look like you can make it. But that's kind of the only thing that I worry about. I think in the past when I've played this, I've like come here first, as like, or like rather as soon as I can, so that like in case I die, I like don't have to retrace my steps too much. Although actually, I don't know, because when you free a dragon, it saves everything that you've done, I think. So I think actually that's not that big a deal, but it's never good to screw up a glide like that. Dware. Oh, this is a blue in it. Oh, hell yes! That's always satisfying. I don't care who you are. I'd like to be confident enough not to have to check my inventory, but I'm going to, just to be sure. Okay, we're good. And next up, I think this might be one of my favourite levels in the game, Cliff Town. I'm no Twitch expert, but thanks to the first-time chatter, who I suspect might be a bot there. Apologies if you're not. Let me know if you're not. But anyway, Cliff Town, cool level. I love the sort of. Is it wrong to say Mexican vibe? I've always assumed Mexico looks like this. I don't know. Anyway, the fact that there are gems in the kind of cauldrons has always kind of confused me. Well, not confused me because I've known about it for a long time. But why would you think to check that if you didn't know? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, there aren't too many things that are outright cryptic in this game. A lot of it is quite straightforward. But hiding the gems in cauldrons, like that in this level, and actually the boss stage of Peacekeepers is a bit like that as well, because I think it has the same enemies. That kind of stands out to me as being like, if you didn't know that there were gems in there, why would you think to check? This thief is one of the more annoying ones because of how enclosed a space he kind of goes in. And you can so easily bonk off stuff. Come on. There we go. The thing about this dragon's always slightly confusing. I feel like I always felt like he was in a slightly strange
How's
place.
a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway?
Remember, Spyro, flame won't harm metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
yeah, so in case you were trying to flame these guys, that doesn't work. They have like literally knives, by the way. Like Spyro can get like fire. Anyway. This is definitely somewhere where I'm always really inefficient at collecting stuff, is in this part of the level, because once you get to a certain point of climbing this structure here, a whirlwind opens at the bottom. So I never complete, and you have to kind of go back and forth through a lot of this, so I'm not entirely sure what the optimal traversal strategy is here. Of course, I should point out this game is incredibly optimized for speedrun these days, but I don't watch speedruns. I don't really follow the speedrun community for kind of any game. I massively respect them. Like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine dedicating myself as hard as those guys do. But yeah, it's just a world beyond that which I shall ever achieve. I remember when I was at university, I thought about getting into like speedrunning for a little bit. Like I downloaded the live split timer thing that a lot of them use.
On the other side of that river.
Why don't you glide?
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna speedrun Sonic Forces. I'm gonna be a Sonic Forces speedrunner. And I got to the point of like setting up all the splits for like each level. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh wait, I actually don't want to play this game. Just because it's the newest Sonic game right now doesn't mean that I actually am obliged to ever play it again. And true to my word, I have never played it since. Okay, I'm sorry to have to do this. I am desperate for some toilet. So I am just going to real quick set up a little BRB. I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll get another drink. I'm drinking rum and coke. Hope you're all drinking at home. We're having a good time. Give me a second. Yep. And we're back, folks. Like a fool, I didn't set my ice going sort of long enough ago for it to be fully good to go right now. And I didn't put my fucking cans of Coke in the fridge, so I got a warm rum and Coke on the go right now. And I put more rum in it to make up for the displacement of the ice cubes that I was missing. So I don't know. This stream might go a little bit more off the rails. The more of this I consume. I'm having a good time though. I always have a good time playing Spyro. It's been a little while. Anyway, to finish my thought about speedrunning and my failed efforts at it,
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown.
I kind of repurposed
If I were you, I'd use
the
that
live
power.
split download that I made, and I ended up never trying to speedrun anything, but I still had it downloaded on my PC when I finished uni and got my first real job. Whereupon I realized in software development, naturally. Whereupon I realised that all of my teammates that I worked with, I still work with, are the most awkward people in the entire world, and basically don't speak for any longer than they have to for any reason. So it got to the point that I was like, yeah, I'm going to speedrun our daily stand-up meetings, because we only have them because the big boss kind of decrees it that we have to. Clearly nobody wants to actually talk in them. So, and I was like, our Teams calls were like maybe 2 or 3 minutes most days anyway. So yeah, I downloaded, I kept the same download, and I just started speedrunning our work like stand-up meetings. It was a little bit stupid. Just like I am being, because that's not how you get that one. You're supposed to go up here. I just remembered I forgot to do the other part that you're supposed to do from over here. But I'll let that firework go and blow. Oh, there was a sort of reinforced case somewhere over there. So that's what that's for. But from up here, we can now go behind the level. Come on, camera. There we go. Actually, hang on. If I set the camera to active, that should make it so that not only is the camera slightly faster to rotate, but it will mean that the camera will rotate behind you when you start moving. Right, how much store do we need? We need 25 gem. Hopefully, the scenes with this locked chest has exactly 25 gems in it. I mean, first I remember where it kind of was. I think it does. Come on, come on. Yeah. Is there anything more satisfying? Come on. Okay, on to the third stage of Peacekeepers. In the Japanese version, so the reason that I'm sort of numbering the stages like this is because it's the order that they appear on the inventory screen. When you press like select, or you go to pause in inventory, and they go in the same order, or they go in the order that I'm playing them. And because I remember this game to the extent that I do, I know kind of the order that each stage goes in for every world. But in the Japanese version of this game, the levels are actually numbered. Like in sort of like Mario or whatever, where you have like World 1-1 or World 1-2, stuff like that. So this level, Ice Cavern, is in the Japanese version level 2-3. You see what I mean? Like it's World 2, level 3. And the bosses are all level 4, and the flat levels are all level 5.
Caution, little one. Wait until you grow big, like me, before charging those large enemies.
That dragon always used to confuse me when I was a kid, because I thought that meant that there was some sort of mechanic where like Spyro would like get big enough to be able to where Spyro would like become an adult or whatever. what it means is Spyro is a small dragon. Don't charge the big enemies because you'll just bounce off them. But I thought it meant that there would be... Maybe I did play Spyro 2 before this then, because there's a level in Spyro 2 where the NPC that you help kind of eats these berries. The level Shady Oasis from Spyro 2 has the NPC that you kind of help throughout the level eats these berries that turn him into this like massive tank of a guy that can like break down doors and stuff.
Spyro, some big Norks up ahead are
So I think I thought that was a mechanic in this game eventually,
armor
but
can make their feet very slippery.
no, what it's actually doing is setting up what this guy has just told us about, which is that in the next area where it's all slippery, you can charge enemies with armor, big enemies with armor, off the side and into the water and die. Speaking of charging, these are not decorative; these are actual gems that you are supposed to charge these poles and get the gem off of. And it's not actually difficult to get, but you don't want to sort of let it have. You don't want to be off at all because you will just charge off into the abyss. So I'm actually going to do the stuff that's. Oh no, am I? Or should I? No, I'll do this bit here because I think this is one of these weird situations where you come across the locked chest and then you glide down from there to get to the key. But I don't want to come back through here with all the enemies still, because I know what this place looks like with the enemies still in place. So I remember when I did my test recording, I got lost here for quite not lost, but I was missing some gems, and it was like the kind of place where the recording kind of stalled the most. And if I was any good at this whole streaming business, I would have tried to make sure that I knew what I was doing when I got to this level. But I'm still flying blind right now.
Thank you for releasing me.
And I'm on like my 5th rum and coke of the evening, so we'll see what's happening. Right, this is where you end up when you glide, so let me go back now. And I'm going to need to try as well and get one of these bats that's flying around for the fodder. In fact, I don't think I used the word fodder yet, but that's the official word for the little enemies that or little animals that you can just like attack and get a butterfly out of. They're called fodder. Which is the first time I'd ever come across the word fodder. It was when I was a kid reading the manuals for this game. Or, Spyro 3, I suppose. So I think I don't know. I think I might have thought that fodder was a word that the Spyro series made up. So yeah, now we're back over here. Cause I don't know. When you're a kid, like, and you sort of see a word used for the first time, you never know if it's that's a word that I just happened to have never seen before, or if it's like some sort of fictional canon word or whatever. I'm trying to think of another example. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I was a kid, I probably thought that like, or I might have not known. Let's say that like Star Wars didn't make up the word lightsaber because you just hear it said in other places sometimes. It's kind of the opposite of what I'm talking about actually. But yeah, fodder. This is always a strange part of this level, because the exit is right here. It's actually like the biggest level that you can like get to at this point in the game, as far as I will remember. Yeah, there's 5 dragons in this stage.
Thank you for releasing me.
It's an artisan's dragon. I'm almost sure of it. I think that's a recolor of the guy from the opening cutscene, and the guy with the Southern American accent in Stone Hill. So this area here kind of shows you a secret in this stage that I can't even bother to show right now because it involves going all the way back to the start. But there are 3 extra life capsules on that platform there, and that ice wall is on the other side of that is where you start the level, and it's kind of above it. So the idea is you stand on a platform at the start of the level and glide round the corner to land on there. You can get 3 extra lives if you feel like it. I mean, to be honest, it's been so long since I got a game over in this game. I actually don't know what the specific punishment is. If you die, you respawn from whatever the last platform like this you touched. Because they're not only checkpoints, but that's also where you go to save the game. Which is something that I always have to remind myself of when I play the PS1 version. The game doesn't auto-save. So right now I have no save file for everything I've done so far. So whenever I get to the end of the stream, I need to remember to actually go and manually save the platform. Otherwise, I won't be able to continue playing on this file if I ever want to. When you get game over, I can't remember what happens, to be honest. I don't know if do you just like reappear at like the start point of whatever stage you were in? Like, do you lose collectibles? Because you don't when you die, so maybe that's the punishment for if you get game over, is you have to literally start recollecting everything again. And here is where it really drags down the pace, having to bonk into all these. Come on. The thing, I know that it's a PS1 game, and so the hitboxes are actually, like, if anything, more generous than I think they're going to be, but I don't like to risk it. Because I definitely remember playing this game and getting screwed over by that before. Oh. Oh, can I get this one? Is that guy going to come down? Where are you? There we go.
You've done well, Spyro. Some dragons thought you weren't ready, but I knew they were wrong.
I'm ready, all right.
Ready for what? Yeah, this is, so you know, it's not something that I was aware of myself particularly, but I recently watched the archive live stream of Triple Jump Peter Austin playing this game. He kind of made me aware of this. The sort of semi-conspiracy theory, I guess, or like lore discussion that in universe anyway. Like, all of this was set up by the dragons. Like, as though Nasty Nork wasn't, like, actually, like, a threat to them or whatever. And the reason being that there's that guy who says, some people thought you weren't ready. And there's a guy in Dry Canyon who says, ever since you were a wee puff of smoke, we've known. Which sort of sounds like they're sort of saying he's the chosen one, or whatever. And considering that the sort of stated plot of this game is that Spyro just happens to be the one dragon who's around to be able to fight Nasty Nork and like rescue the rest of the dragons or whatever. I don't know. I don't personally get into lore discussions of the Spyro the Dragon series, but it's kind of neat to think that. Well, it's kind of neat to know that some people do, frankly. Like, I'm not even like dismissively saying like, oh yeah, more power to you if you like want to or whatever, but like, it's actually cool that some people are actually discussing the story and lore to that sort of extent. Anyway, Dr. Chen. So I slightly misremembered the gimmick here. It has those enemies that like slap the little guys at you, but there are no cooking pots in this stage, and instead the gimmick here is that the running guys will instead go off the side and their gem will launch back on the platform whence they came. And now I recall there being some sort of thing where there's like a point of no return on this stage. The last time I played it, I realized that I was like completely wrong about that. I don't remember what I was remembering. Because there is a locked chest. You see I just got the key. And I remembered it being that once you fell down that ledge that I just dropped down and rescued this dragon.
This guy thinks he's so cool. You don't know what it's been like listening to him over and over. But I'll tell you one thing.
He should watch his
back.
No, so like, so I remember hearing, or I remember sort of understanding that there was a point of no return, and like you couldn't get all the gems if you didn't have all of them before you did that. But it's just like wrong, because you can come back out like this, and even the whirlwind around the back is still working. So I don't know what I'm kind of misremembering about that. I don't know if it was, yeah, no, I don't know. Anyway, here's Dr. Shemp. Possibly the least threatening bot. Well, no, because there's Toasty, and this guy can actually hit you. But yeah, he's basically like the big guys from Dark Horror, mixed with Papu Papu from the original Crash Bandicoot, where he just loves showing you his weak spot, and you just got to attack him in it. There you go. He's gone. He's dead. That was easy, wasn't it? The bosses in this game do not pose much of a threat, to say the least. And I think that should be... I look like I was scrolling over 275, so I think I've got everything. Yeah! 300 gems and a single dragon. It's a boss stage. There's normally only one. I'm going to the whirlwind. I know I could pause it, but I don't want to. I'm going to the whirlwind. Now, there's no enemy where we're going. We don't need enemies, but I don't like having I don't like having green sparks either. So I'm gonna fill up on my sparks real quick before I go to the next level. I don't like your attitude, mister. This is Night Flight, I believe. Yeah. Like I say, this would be like the first flight level that you might kind of organically come across if you didn't know that there was a hidden one. And like, you see what I mean? Like sort of said in the last one, where like most of them will kind of start you in front of an obstacle where it's like, this is the one you should go for first. And now I've done all the hoops, it's time to go for the chests. You see what I mean? So like, I believe the kind of point is that like, this isn't the fastest way to complete these stages, but it's the easiest. Because you see that, so obviously at the moment the timer is counting down, and I'm getting time back every time I flame an obstacle. But if you go back into one of these stages after you've completed it for the first time, it's kind of the opposite. It becomes like a time attack thing. The timer starts counting up, and it saves like your best time to complete the course. So it's like they kind of intend for that to be like the thing that you should go for once you finished it. And I don't know if there was ever any sort of like scene for Spyro the Dragon flight level times. Oh my god, have I run out of time? Have I screwed this up? Oh, I screwed this up! Oh no! Oh, that was the last one! Ah. I remember there being... Sorry guys, I remember there being some kind of like sharp turn, but I forgot exactly where it was. Anyway. So yeah, like... Personally, I never bothered coming back into these stages in any of these games actually, and trying to get the best time or anything. But I love the idea, and I'd love to know if anybody ever actually did bother doing that. You know, keep playing these stages, and they, I guess they lent into it in the later games, because in Spyro 2 and 3, these stages are renamed speedways instead of flight levels. So like they're kind of going for that angle of like get the best time. And like Spyro 3 in particular, I think, has it so that like you get a gem for every obstacle that you hit. There we go. But the timer is like a constant. There we go. So as you can see here, like, because I got 8 out of 8 on rings, chests, and arches on my first run, that's just shown as a tick. So if I'd have exited out of the run on the first time, I would have got those 180 gems, but I would have missed the 120 that I got from getting the 8 lights and the all-in-one. So that's kind of how getting a treasure works on these stages, which is kind of an interesting way of doing it, to be honest. Because if you're not bothered about collecting everything, then it means that you can still go into those stages and still get some things from them. Anyway, that's everything from Peacekeepers. We're only an hour and 16 in. That's a third of the way through the game. Nice job, Spyro. One day you're a real dragon. What is that supposed to mean? Hop aboard for the Magic Crafters world if you are ready. I'd like to think I am. What's it supposed to mean? Become a real dragon? Does it just mean, like, I'll learn how to fly instead of just glide? Oh, news for you, buddy. Spyro never learns how to do that. Anyway, this is one of the coolest home worlds. The Magic Crafters. And this guy has got to die. There we go. So that's got one of the more annoying egg thieves, because if you don't catch him, he will jump up here and you can't get him. So you have to just get that guy as soon as you see him. That's where I came from. Ow.
Welcome to Magic Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
Blue thieves? Oh no! Anyway, do you remember how the first dragon in Peacekeepers made a point of talking about the treasure? That dragon makes a point of talking about the egg thieves, because that is what we're trying to get to the next world. The balloonist in this world cares about how many eggs you've collected. And that this enemy back here. There we go. So these green guys. I want to say the manual calls them druids, which feels sort of unnecessarily targeted, to be honest. But whatever. They perform magic on the environment, and they kind of just like get in your way. But yeah, like the vulture guy from Dry Canyon earlier. You can kill them with these. You don't have to, but oh, it's satisfying. Oh. There we go. I always like the portal designs here. It's something that, because so the Spyro 2 and 3 don't take place in the Dragon Worlds, so it's something that they kind of forgot how to do. But every world in Spyro 1 has a different design of the portals, and I always thought these ones were really cool, because they're like wider. Like, I think the portal design in Spyro 2 and 3 is like based on just like the Artisan's world. They're just kind of like standard. But yeah, here in Magicraft. And what I like about it actually is that like this archway here looks like a level portal. So it kind of makes it look like it's just part of the world. Like, it's kind of a piece of world building that, like, I don't know, they didn't kind of have to do. So, anyway, we're about to find out what those flashing arrows in the ground are for. From Xantor.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
So yeah, supercharge. So over here, hang on, I can show it better. There you go. Over here, there's a locked chest in there, and if you're able to supercharge in there, you can just get in there without the key and break the locked chest. I'm gonna do it properly. I'm gonna be boring. I'm gonna do it properly. But here's what a supercharge looks like. There we go. I at least broke the locked chest that you need a supercharge to even get through. And so, okay, so those wizards, the wizards here, not these guys, the guy I just killed, are like actually really dangerous. This guy, he like shoots lightning at you. He'll actually hurt you. Because I played Spyro 3 and maybe 2 before this, where the homeworlds have absolutely nothing that can possibly harm you, that's what threw me off really badly for the first time. Like, I think the guys in Peacekeepers can hurt you as well, but like, not really. Like, you have to like get in the way really for them to be able to shoot you with the cannon or whatever, but the fact that there's actual enemies in the homeworld in this game that can hurt you was really strange to me. There's some sort of glitch you can do with the enemies that I just killed. If they like shoot you into this mountain, you go like really high up in the air, but I never learned how to do that. I can't be bothered. Just out of curiosity, what does this guy say to us right now? Thank you, Spyro, for covering so many of our dragon eggs. Hop aboard for the Beastmaker's world if you are ready. So I have enough already. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Literally 7. There's 12 in the entire game, and you only need 7. Apparently. I think you might only need 6. That would make more sense. I have a memory, which is clearly incorrect, that that guy asks for all of them, but I think I'm getting that mixed up with there are no more after this world.
This portal leads to a special place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
Okay, so actually, it's entirely possible then that this stage, Crystal Flight, is the first flight level that they expect you to come across then, because Sandy Flight, you obviously need to jump on the stones, which is not necessarily the most obvious thing in the world that you know how to do, until you find out in one of these stages later on. And then in Night Flight, for Night Flight, you're supposed to blow up the target thing with the cannon, which you might not know you're supposed to do. So actually, I think Crystal Flight is supposed to be the first one that you might come across, or it's at least expected that that might be the first one. But anyway, that's the Magic Crafters homeworld. 300 gems. There's a lot going on here. I just kind of barreled through it without really explaining most of it. But let's go now to Alpine Ridge, which is in many ways just like this stage, this homeworld, but in the format of a standard level. I quite, to be honest, I like all of the Magic Crafters worlds. Whoa. Okay. That guy always freaks me out a little bit because, yeah, he's a guy that you have to charge to kill, but he's on a really narrow platform. Oh, I'm doing the thing now where I sing along to the music. I haven't even talked about the music yet in this game. That's crazy. I've come this far. I've not even mentioned the music, but it's classic. This game's soundtrack is amazing. This whole series is amazing music. Do I even need to mention that it's Stuart Copeland off of The Police who did it? I mean, to be honest, for me at least, it's more like Stuart Copeland. For hearing about The Police, it's Stuart Copeland off of the Spyro soundtrack.
Gigantic, awful beasts, are you?
Of course not.
I didn't think so.
But yeah, I mean, this game's soundtrack is amazing. Stuart Copeland also did the soundtracks for Spyro 2 and 3, and Enter Dragonfly, actually, as well. But I'm not so far gone with my gaming tastes that I like that game. I kind of despise that game, and I often forget that Stuart Copeland did the music for it as well, because it's so weird that like anything good comes out of that could be seen to come out of that game. I might have screwed up actually with this guy. There we go. Actually, so I have to mention. Well, I say mention. I don't actually remember what website it was, but when I was little, and I was playing these games for the first time, there was a site in particular that made me aware of how to 100% these games. Because of course, when you're little, you don't know how to 100% any game that you have. Like, the idea of even finishing, and like, I think about this quite a lot, right? The reason that when we were kids we used to refer to it as beating games, and now we just say completing. Like, games used to be adversarial to us when we were little. Like, you weren't... To finish a game was like actually beating it. Like, we always assumed that games actively hated us and didn't want us to succeed. But anyway, the game, there was a site that had like really nice in-depth review guides, 100% guides for the Spyro games, with like sort of screenshots of where you were supposed to kind of go for every stage. The place where I just was, with like the kind of three Druids, and before that the blue guys. I remember that site. Oh no! My first death! I remember that site being like, this is the place that you have to like be really worried about. Okay, so here's put it to the test, right? Does this guy drop a thing? Yes, he does. So yeah, the as you can see, the kind of point here, like I got the timing right on the first guy there, but the challenge here is essentially based on timing. It's like you gotta try and get over here. Oh no! Oh dear! Could this be the place where I really start struggling? Well, I think it might be, you know. No, I'm gonna be sensible. I'm gonna be sensible. But here, so this is my point, right? Is these areas, or when you die, all the gems that you got, you still have, and all the enemies that you killed now drop the little capsule things. Oh no! Come on! Well, yeah. If this keeps up, you might find out what happens in this game when you get a game over. I might learn. It's been a long time, but okay. I'm gonna be bloody sensible, because there's like there's a dragon exactly on the other side of that platform there. So once I get over, as long as I get over there at some point, there's not enough time to go over there if you just wait. There you go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. New checkpoint. We're all right. We're good.
Oh, thank you for releasing me.
No problem, my dude. I'm glad I did. I didn't know my sense of timing was so off. To think, I mean, there's almost no point in me finishing this last story here, but yeah, the site that I used to go on said that the part of this stage that I was like, where you glide over from the first dragon, was like, oh, you gotta be careful at this part because there's no fodder over here, so like, kill all these enemies. I was gonna like sort of say that in a mocking tone, as though like, oh yeah, who would get fooled by that? Who would die in Spyro 1? And then proceeded to die like 5 times in a row because of my own impatience. But whatever. I can't remember what that site is called, and that's a real shame because, like, I used to love that page. Even when I wasn't playing these, like, obviously I wasn't playing it because I didn't have a, like, you know, this is in the days before I had like a phone or a laptop, and I would just like log on to like my parents' computer in the study and find out like where the like hidden stuff was and all these Spyro levels that I didn't know where it was yet. And I can't remember what it was called.
Great work, Spyro. If you keep this up, you'll learn all the tricks of the Magic Crafter world.
Like, the name in my head is the Cave of Dragonflies, but I know that's not correct because that was that's a Pokemon site, which is still up. In fact, I mean, the Spyro site might still be up as well. I don't know. Okay, what should I do first? What makes more sense? I'm going to go to this area first, because I think there's a dragon over here, so it's a checkpoint. Yeah.
Remember that these blue thieves haven't stolen eggs only in the Magic Crafter world. Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
Yeah, it's funny that he says that, because if indeed you only need like 6 of the eggs to get to the next world, I think you can go through the entire game, or like you can, you know, complete that section anyway without getting any of the eggs that aren't in Magic Crafters, but whatever. Magic Crafters is the only world where some of the levels have 2 egg thieves, and this is not one of them. Probably I had to check that. Whatever. So this is like the last kind of part of this world, and I always found this bit really like weirdly stressful, even though it's kind of not, because these aren't challenging jumps, but it's just the idea that like either you die if you don't make the jump, or the knockback from the explosion will send you flying into the pit. Okay, so I've got everything. You know what? I'm gonna exit level. I don't trust myself on my track record there not to fall into one of the water pits there. So you know what? I apologise. I've broken the seal already. So I'm gonna put up another BRB right quick. And I'll see you in a second. I don't know if breaking the seal is real, but certainly feels like it. Anyway, that's enough talk about piss. Now it's on to High Caves. One of the strangest levels. One of the levels I used to be like scared of this level. I think a lot of people did, because the kind of main kind of thing about this stage is the invincible spiders. There you go. There's one. They don't attack you this way. So let me get these gems actually while I'm here. This way is like, if you go this way, then you're pretty much safe until later. But if you want to get everything in the stage, you're gonna have to go in there eventually. And that idea did not. It didn't sound fun to me when I played this game when I was little. So this was kind of one level that I always kind of figured that I just would never bother with. Because that's interesting. I don't know exactly when I decided, like, oh no, I am capable of finishing these games 100%.
Green druids, they insist on moving everything in sight.
Like at some point I did decide that, you know? I was like, no, actually I am going to try and finish this game that I play all the time already. I'm going to try and get everything in it. I don't know, is this relatable? It might not be relatable at all, where I might have always just had really low self-esteem, but like, when I was little I used to play games all the time, I was like, oh, like I'll never like actually like finish everything in it, right? Like I'll just like, I'll play it until I like know where I'm at, and then I'll just like stop. And then gradually you're like, no, I'm gonna try. I know that I can finish these levels, so let me play the rest of the levels. And then it's like, oh wait, no, so I can finish all the levels to a degree, but why don't I just get everything? And I forget when the sort of moment was that I was like, no, you know what? I've played Spyro for, you know, my entirety of my 9 years on Earth or whatever. Like, let me actually like try and like engage with it and complete everything. I mean, maybe it was when I discovered what emulators were, because some of my earliest memories involving like using like a PS1 emulator, this is really weird, was like, it was a really nice day outside and I sat in the garden at my parents' house with my laptop that I had when I was like 11, playing Spyro on a PS1 emulator with a keyboard, because I didn't know that USB controllers existed and you could plug a controller into a computer. Playing the level Haunted Towers, which well, we probably won't get to in this stream, but it comes a little bit later in this game. And I remember being like, oh, like I'm playing a part of this level that I've never seen before. And that must have been when I was like 11 or 12 or something.
I hate those bugs. When I become big and strong, like you, I'll squash them all.
Until then, remember that supercharge makes you invincible.
So here's the that's the kind of gimmick of this stage, right? Is in here you have these spiders you can't kill normally, but that's supercharge ramp. So what you got to do is go in there with your supercharge, and you can kill them. And this is also, well, you know what? I'll hold my tongue on that until a little bit later, because that's. I mean, this level's cool because there are like 3 gimmicks, right? There's the one that I just mentioned. There's the one that I just stopped mentioning, and then there's the one which involves this massive pit, which we will see in just a second. But this is essentially, you pick your poison with the supercharger ramp here. Is you can come over here where there's some gems and the egg thief. Come on. The smaller the like area to fight the egg thief in, the more annoying it is, to be honest, because like you can't charge him because he's like faster than you anyway. So, all right, I'm gonna come back. I think you can kill him with these. I could be wrong about that. I'm gonna give it a go. We'll see what happens. Because I think they... Yeah! I believe they like home in on enemies to at least some extent. Like if you're sort of aiming broadly in the direction of something, it'll kind of meet you halfway. Anyway, it's the sort of main actual gimmick of this stage is these three fairies over here. If you jump into this abyss in this part of the level, they'll pick you up and they'll take you back to the supercharge ramp. And that's something else that I kind of like about this game more than like the other games in the series is... Oh, Jesus. Okay. The kind of willingness to kind of experiment with the formula a little bit. Like, no other game in the series would be willing to like play with the pure conventions of the platformer genre. See what I mean? I'm over-explaining it. I'm sort of giving it a little bit more, gas than it maybe deserves. But like, there's no other level in the series where if you jump off the side of a platform, you'll get saved and taken somewhere else, and it's actually beneficial to you to do that. Like, you wouldn't be able to get to that whole bit with chasing the egg thief and getting those gems if you didn't know that you could get over here. Or the first egg thief, rather, I suppose, because you might be able to get over here without... You can get here from that ramp, and then you can get over there from over here. But like, what do you do to get back to, safe land from here? You can't. So you have to jump down the pit, get picked up by the fairies. It's a really neat idea. And so I got the stuff in the left-hand cave, didn't I? So yeah, okay, that's fine. Everything you need supercharge for in here. And now it's time to face the cave. It's not actually that threatening, to be honest, but there's always part of me that's slightly scared of like going in here because of how terrifying it was when I was a kid. Okay, that's fine. I killed the thing on this level. You know what? You can get up there, I think, with the supercharge. So let me. Actually, let me go down. What makes more sense? This is where my sort of mental map of the areas in this game kind of falls apart a little bit, because I never used to come down here, as you can imagine. There we go. Okay, so I think I've got all the ones that you have to charge. But there is still at least one around. There might be two still around, but they home in on you. If you're just running around the caves like this, they'll come after you. I don't think you can make it up here in a single jump. So there's one over there, but if we get up here, we find this fairy, who gives us the super flame. Yeah, and now we can kill the bugs, the spiders, with our flame breath. And you can't normally. I know it's kind of a bad example because I didn't show what happens normally, but trust me, they're invincible. And that's everything. I'm gonna exit level. So genuinely, like that whole area was like the whole bit that I used to be terrified of when I used to play this. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not even that arachnophobic. I think I didn't like the idea that there was like part of a game that was like beyond what the normal abilities of your character were. Anyway, on to level 3 of this area, Wizard Peak. Otherwise known as that level that has the music from the Amanda Show. Amanda. It's not even like a joke. Like the Amanda Show on Nickelodeon, just Stuart Copeland did the music for that show as well, and he literally just used the same stem. Which I always think is funny when you sort of get like the occasional sort of gaming focused kind of interview with Stuart Copeland or whatever, where they ask him about like Spyro. I know that like their stories are that he actually did play Spyro quite a bit. Like there are sort of the stories that he kind of wrote the music like a sort of John Williams type, where it's like, I don't know, like I would play the level like without music to figure out what the vibe was going to be.
Welcome to Wizard
But
Peaks.
ultimately,
This is my favorite
like
supercharged spot.
he was still just like a guy who wrote music for various other things as well. Clearly, like the Wizard Peak music that he wrote, he felt was like appropriate for like the ending of a TV show as well on like kids' TV. So I don't know. It's just like you're assigning a bit too much importance to the soundtrack he wrote for a PlayStation game in 1998, I think. But whatever. It's good music. And I haven't done all my research for sort of if anyone happens to watch this who does know a little bit about how Stuart Copeland wrote his music for these games. I don't actually know what his process was, so I'm not saying anything. Anyway, I'm in a secret part of this stage that you might not realise was here, but if you want all the stuff in it, you gotta come this way. And to be honest, I might have missed something anyway. I frequently do when I play this stage. I often have to come back here after the fact and sort of remember where to go and what I missed, but like I jumped up here earlier. Anyway, I think that's everything. Not because I know what the numbers are supposed to be. In fact, I know. Yeah, I just seen it isn't. I just missed a bit. So let me go back over that way. See what I mean? I don't actually know. Like I know most of this game. I can eventually remember my way around enough and to know how to 100% it. But I don't know it completely perfectly. I couldn't like map you out every stage off the top of my head. Some people could. And I slay myself for it daily. I have a hand-painted thing of Spyro that my mum did for me, and it's up in my flat right now. I'm looking right at it. It's Spyro from the box art for this game. How do you get over to the bit that I was just looking at? Is it down here? Do you have to like go around? No. I've screwed up somewhere. I'm gonna get it. I'm not going forward in the level until I get to the guy who was sitting up on that ledge that I missed. Is it over here? Yes, it is, I think. That has to be it. There we go. That might be the bit that I always miss. Anyway, the dragon who we freed just there said this is his favourite supercharged spot. And indeed, so that you can see. This is what I always think is quite cool. Is that like they kind of show, they tell you earlier in the game, like you have to be a big, strong adult dragon before you'll be able to charge the big enemies. And they put big enemies on supercharged ramps, and you can kill them. So it's like kind of emulating the strength that Spyro would potentially be able to get when he grows up. Not that, you know, that's something you'll ever be able to kind of experience as a player, but... Ooh, that's not correct. Hang on. I'm being wildly inefficient. There's a better way to do this. Anyway. This stage introduces quite an important kind of aspect to the supercharge that I forget if they make it obvious in this stage or not. I don't think they do. But essentially, when you're supercharging, if you go down another supercharge ramp, see my flame just changed from orange to yellow? That means you're going like at a higher speed. And you can get over here. And that'll be crucial for a stage a little bit later on. But as far as I'm aware, they don't tell you about it. Anyway, that thief doesn't move. It's the only thief in the game that doesn't actually move anywhere. Because he's on the back of a platform like that. You still have to catch him though. Whoa, did that club guy just kill that shield guy? So I know that like one of the... I don't think I've ever seen that before. I know that like one of the things about this game that kind of makes it unique is the enemies interact with each other. Because that is something that makes this game quite unique for its time, is that the enemies will kind of react to each other. They'll interact in sort of different ways. Oh, that's where I meant to go. It was over here. I'm not sure I've ever seen an enemy actually kill another enemy in this game before. Anyway, there's another secret bit. Is it even secret? This is the thing about Spyro 1. As much as I love it, like, you kind of struggle to refer to any of the parts of it as being secret because it's just a case of like, because you can do sort of so little of the game and actually finish it, it kind of blurs the line between secret and obligatory in kind of some ways at least. I don't know, I'm kind of reminded a little bit of like how kind of Kadikurus talks about like Crash Bandicoot 4, where it's like, if you're gonna play the game, you may as well finish it. Obviously, not to compare this game to Crash Bandicoot 4 in any sort of way, because this game is incredibly comfy to finish. Like it's... Well, I struggle to call it easy, because I just happen to know it really well. So obviously your perspective gets a little bit warped when it's a game that you happen to know really well, where it's like, is it actually easy, or do I just know how to do it? But I think this game is pretty easy to finish. And pretty easy to complete 100% as well. But, you know, it's like that Crash Bandicoot 4 point in the perspective of like, does anything count as secret if you basically have to do it for the game to have any kind of point to you playing it? Right, is that all the gems? I'm not convinced it is. It's not. I'm missing some. I'm going to leave that dragon until I've got all the gems. And what on earth have I missed? Is it anything over here? This is sort of the eventual endpoint to all things Spyro, is you end up looking around kind of every part of a stage you've just been in for ages, being like, what have I missed? I mean, sort of the elephant in the room that I haven't really addressed is that basically Spyro 1 is kind of a by the numbers collectathon. There we go. 500 out of 500. and I've left that dragon over by the exit on purpose so that I can jump into the whirlwind and feel like I've done the right thing. Whoa. Like, something that I think is like kind of funny for me to think about now is that this kind of the first time that I kind of watched footage
Listen
and kind of
carefully, Spyro. There's a
here we
secret
go.
area in the artisan home. It is at the waterfall. Try jumping on the stones there.
Artisan home, waterfall. Sounds good.
So that's how you're supposed to learn about Sunny Flight in the artisan home. But if you're a pro gamer, you know about it already. Anyway, what I was saying was the first time I saw sort of footage of like Banjo-Kazooie, like I thought, oh, it's like Spyro. Like I know how this game works because it's like Spyro. So I don't know if there's actually like much of a kind of discourse about like those two games being the same in any sort of way. But when I first started playing Banjo-Kazooie, I literally like found like sort of analogs to sort of things in this game as much as I possibly could. I was like, oh yeah, the notes are like gems and the jiggies are like dragons. It's like Spyro. It's like a game I like. Maybe that's completely normal. Maybe that's how everyone does it. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny to think about. I've been getting into Backlogged recently. The site that's kind of like Letterboxd, but for video games. My username is the same as it is on Twitch and on YouTube, CHL1597. If you're curious, if you want to see what I think about random Xbox 360 games, because I'm going through my shelf, and those that just happen to be the first games on my shelf is my 360 games. Anyway, and I got to reviewing Banjo-Kazooie on it, and I was like, man, I loved Banjo-Kazooie when I played it, but what do I have to say about it other than like, basically I liked it because it was like Spyro. Anyway, whatever. This is Blowhard. I've seen people, not to be like high and mighty about anything, because who the fuck am I to comment, but like, people make sort of kind of adult jokes about Blowhard's name, and I'm like, do people not know that it's like a sort of 1940s ass word for like an idiot? Like, are you Blowhard? And the joke is that that's the word, and he's like a tornado guy.
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in crystal. And, neither do I. Who are you again?
I'm out of here.
I love that one. Some of the dragons, like, they still make me laugh. I always like that one because it's like they knew that "thank you for releasing me" was like getting a little bit kind of cliched for them all to be saying. I don't know. The old person forgetfulness jokes are perhaps a little bit of their time if you want to get sort of really I don't know, unfunny about things, but whoa, that was close. So yeah, I don't know. The point, as you may be able to tell with all these bosses, is you just kind of chase them down and do a flame attack, and ultimately that's how you damage all of them, and you just keep doing that repeatedly until they're dead. The bosses aren't. I mean, the bosses in Spyro 1 in particular, it's a threat in the sense that there's no fodder in these levels. So if you do take damage from anything, there's like no way of regaining the health that you lost. Is that everything? Is it everything? It should be. Hell yeah. So I guess to some extent, like, the jury's out on whether that's like actually kind of difficulty or not, but I don't know. It's never sort of. It's not really they're not really boss fights. They're just kind of like challenge levels, I suppose. Because Spyro 2 and 3 have real boss fights. if you want to draw those sorts of lines, but whatever. Anyway, here we are in Crystal Flight. And this might be... we might be coming to the end of the stream here. Because as much as I think I could carry on and do Beastmakers next, we are at World 3 right now. And there are 6 worlds total in this game. So I kind of really like the idea of making this a 2-part stream and finishing the entire game in 2 parts. Maybe next Friday. Maybe next Friday I will have a few drinks again and do the second part of Spyro the Dragon. Because I've really enjoyed playing through this game again. Like I say, recently I watched the... oh, I'm going to have to retry this. Where are the planes? Yeah, recently I watched the Triple Jump live stream playthrough of Spyro 1, and I was like, oh, I want to play that game again. But I always have like a real problem with getting burnt out on games. And so when I say I recently watched those streams, it was a couple of months ago, to be honest. And I was like, I've had fun watching these streams, but I know that if I actually go and play Spyro the Dragon after just watching these streams, it will feel like I'm, you know, at worst, or at best, kind of retreading steps that have already been done by somebody else, or at worst, I'll get massively burnt out on this game that I haven't actually played myself. I've just watched a playthrough of it. But yeah, like, you know, tonight I was just like, I want to play something. I want to play something nostalgic / dumb that I've not played in some time. As I record, you know, today as I record this is the release date for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but I'm still playing Yakuza 5 right now, and I've taken a break from that because that game's so goddamn long that I didn't want to get burnt out on that. So yeah, like I said at the very beginning of the stream, I was kind of between games, and I was like, what can I play? I've got a little bit drunk of an evening. Yeah, I'll take my game. Screw it. And Spyro the Dragon is always... It's possible that the last time I played, aside from my test recording of it, it's possible that the last time I played this, I'd like had a bottle, maybe like I had like a bottle of wine already. So I don't know. Maybe this is just the game that I play when I've like got drunk and I'm feeling nostalgic. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. Because I'm not going to say is spiel again because I've already unlocked it. But I'll go to Beastmakers and I'll finish the home world, and I'll call it a night after that, because that'll be... I mean, actually, hang on. You know what? You know what I could do when we get to it. 55%. That sounds pretty good. But if the reason I'm going to say I'm going to finish this stage is because if I save now, I'm going to forget what I've done by the time I come back to this, so I may as well finish this home world first. So anyway, I guess for next time, I suppose. This is Beastmakers. This is probably the low point.
Master Nork is turning our swamp into an electrified junk heap, and it used to be so beautiful.
I'm sure it was.
It's kind of a low point as Spyro 1. Because it's the aesthetic is nowhere near nice. Because it's, you know, dark and dingy and swampy and just kind of gross. and the stages that you come across here are kind of really difficult. Okay, do you remember earlier when I was in Town Square and I was talking about the bulls and how I wasn't sure if you charged them you would take damage? It was these boars that I was thinking of. If you charge them, you will get hurt. So you want to flame those guys. Anyway, that kind of proves my point, right? It's basically just like how the rest of the game worked, but it's just like...
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
Where are you going? What do you mean you're gonna go? Where are you going? Anyway, like it's not sort of, I don't know, it's still Spyro the Dragon, it's still fun, it's still pleasant to play, but this is like where the aesthetic is the least pleasant. That guy screws you over all the time anyway. Are there gems down here? Yes. This is where the flight level is. This is Wild Flight is down here. It's always important to be aware of that. I remember where these things are. But this stage has, well, this world has not only this is Misty Bog over here, which has some of the most annoying enemies in the game, but on this tree here, as we'll see in a second, it's a level Treetops, which is kind of infamous as being like the highest level in Spyro. Here it is, Treetops. Well, highest level is 100% anyway, because so much of it involves accurate kind of supercharged routing over a huge bottomless pit. So, like, you can learn it, and once you have learned it, it becomes like really kind of satisfying. But it definitely earns its position as sort of being infamous for how difficult it is in a game that otherwise sort of so kind of chill. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of where I stand on like all of Beastmakers, is that like, because even like the worlds that come after this, you know, like Nasty's world, you kind of expect to be a little bit kind of threatening because it's the world that's kind of run by the final boss or whatever. But like Dreamweavers, it comes after, it's the next world after this, but it's so like comparatively non-threatening because it has a sort of fantastical kind of vibe of like the rest of the game. But you know, here in could we go there theoretically right now? Let's try full dragons still trapped in a crystal. Maybe once you rescue 50 dragons, I'll feel a bit better. And we had 48. So there we go. Like, we couldn't get to Dreamweavers right now, even if we tried. It is impossible not to engage. In fact, there's only 2 dragons in this homeworld, so yeah, like, you have to engage with Beastmakers in some kind of way before it will let you progress. And maybe that kind of adds to, like, the relatively threatening vibe for the whole area. Like, you know, the music's still a bop, obviously, because Stuart Copeland's the GOAT. Well, he's G. You see what I mean? Yeah, Beastmakers. Never been a huge fan of this world. It's funny because Misty Bog is now really annoying to me because of one specific area, which we'll see on the next stream. And Treetops is now really, really fun because, to greater or lesser extent, like I kind of know where to go for like the parts that I used to find really difficult and that everyone used to find really difficult. Terrace Village is now really annoying, and it didn't used to be. It's annoying to 100% that level, and that's kind of the 3rd stage of this area. So like, in different ways, this stage, or this world, is the most annoying and the most threatening. So for all the complaints, I'm not gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave my future self to kind of deal with the ramifications of those complaints when I actually play the levels that I've just been complaining about all along. But it's all relative, right? Like the worst part of one of your favorite games is still kind of better than like most other games. And I don't want to promise too much because it has been a while, but I think I know how to do these levels, even though they are really annoying. So with that, it's been a couple of hours now. It's 11:30 at night. I'm starting to feel the effects of all this rum I've drank tonight. But I hope you've all had a good time indulging my silly little nostalgia trip moments. Ongoing moment. Honestly, you get me started on this game, I'll never shut up. It's as much for you as it is me that I'm stopping here, because I could well continue. But I will see you on some other occasion. At some other time, maybe as soon as next week, we'll see. To finish this adventure off, and then maybe I'd like to think I can play Spyro 2. I'll tell you what, I haven't mentioned this. At the moment, what I'm doing, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also CHL1597. If you're watching on Twitch, or if you're watching on YouTube, it's already the same channel. I'm currently playing, for the sake of recording a video about it, all the games that Sony published. And I tell you what, Sony didn't half publish this game. So I'll be using the footage from this when I eventually get to the video of what they published on 1998. But I'm still doing a 95 video right now. They published a lot of stuff on the PlayStation. Say that. I just wanted to say that while I've got you here. But anyway, I'll see you next time I play this. We'll finish this game. I'll play Spyro 2 at some point, whether on an emulator, whether maybe I'll get like a used copy play. I'm waffling because I don't want to stop playing this game, but I'm gonna pause it now because I have to. It's not worth carrying on for much longer than I have to. Thanks everybody for watching. I've had a lovely time this evening. I hope you've all had a lovely time. Spyro the Dragon's a wonderful game. Check it out. Check it out at your local Blockbuster. It's 1998. Have a lovely evening, night, day. Good night. Goodbye.